Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Watchalong Live with Pro Soccer Talk. I'm your host, Joe Prince-Wright over in England. Delighted to say from Kansas City, Andy Edwards is joining us for this massive World Cup semi-final. Argentina against Croatia, Messi against Modric, one of the favourites against an underdog, Andy. This matchup has it all. How are you feeling as the teams are belting out the national anthems there in Qatar?
Incredibly torn at this moment, Joseph. Messi, all-time, one of the greats, obviously one of my favorite players of all time. Luka Modric, one of probably my all-time favorite player. He was the man at Tottenham when I kind of discovered Tottenham and realized the affinity I had for that club. And so there's always been a bit of an emotional tie there. Obviously, everybody that's not a Ronaldo stan loves Messi as well. And so to see these two come together at this point of their careers, both still chasing a World Cup, both having been to a World Cup final and lost it before. I mean, legendary players. Modric, a generational talent, maybe the best midfielder of his entire generation. Messi, maybe the best player. Don't make me pick in this one, Joe. I know we usually pick a side or we do a prediction. Don't make me pick between these two because I just don't want to do it. I just want to enjoy 90 or 120 minutes of brilliant football for one of them. The last time we'll probably ever see them play internationally for their country. And as sad as that is, then the opportunity to see the other one go on to a final and have a chance to lift it on Sunday.
Oh yeah, this is getting intense now. This whole tournament's been intense, but now semi-final stage down to the final four. Let's focus on the lineups quickly before we kick off this game. And just a quick reminder to everyone joining us. Thanks so much for your comments. Get your questions coming in for Andy and I as we break down Argentina against Croatia, give you commentary on what's coming up. And remember, if you're in the USA, you can watch in Spanish on our NBC family of channels on Telemundo. Pull up a stream on Peacock. Mute that stream, of course, on Peacock, and then have us up loud and clear so you can hear our commentary. We can answer your questions. And if you're in the USA, you can watch in English as well on Fox. Just a reminder there for everyone. So looking at the team news, Andy, obviously Croatia, very familiar team for them. And then if we look at Argentina, a few changes obviously enforced from suspensions and just the change of shape from their quarterfinal victory against the Netherlands. Sorry, I'm just laughing there because that was one of the most brutal games I think I've ever watched in terms of how many yellow cards are dished out. So Argentina, first of all, they've gone to a flat back four again. Tagliafico's come in. Alessandro Martinez is out. And yeah, it's pretty much full strength, though, for Argentina when you actually look at it. What do you think about these lineups? And we know all about Croatia and their experience in that midfield trio, but it's a great match.
For Argentina, there's four in there. This is the first time, I think, at this tournament we've seen like four pretty central midfielders in there. And I think that is very clearly to combat what the strength of Croatia with Modric, with Brozovic, and with Kovacic in there. Those three have just absolutely run the show in every single game for Croatia. And that's not to say they've created a million scoring chances because that's not what this Croatia team does, but they dictate the game. They keep Croatia on, maybe not on the front foot, but firmly in control of the game as it progresses over the 90 and 120 minutes as they've done twice in the knockout rounds. And so I think it's very, very concerted that Argentina said, we need an extra body in there. We need to win that part of that middle part of the field. And if we do, I think that then you get Messi and you get Julian Alvarez up top. I think that's when you isolate them against the defenders. You keep that midfield occupied. Don't let them support the defense. You're going to find a lot more joy that way.
Yeah, and I think as we look at the lineups and obviously players are getting ready here for kickoff, Croatia, just the experience and class of their midfield and the fact that you always seem to underestimate them, right? Back-to-back semi-finals at the World Cup, and Brozovic, Mateo Kovacic, and obviously Modric, a little magician. You see him and Messi shaking hands, doing the coin toss. They've had so many battles in the past, Andy. It's going to be excellent, right? You think back to Real Madrid and Barcelona over the last decade, and even in international tournaments, Croatia and Argentina, they've met recently. And just looking at the lineup, though, I do think that's where Croatia has the edge over Argentina. I think Argentina are probably stronger defensively overall. Then going forward, obviously Messi is Messi. But then in midfield, I think Croatia can dictate and can frustrate. And again, I know you're probably saying Croatia are pretty good defensively. I agree with that as well. But I think most of that is down to the midfield, keeping the ball and keeping the pressure off the back line to actually...
Possession as a way of defending.
Yeah, they don't actually have to do any last-ditch defending or not that much of it
Well,
throughout the game.
and if they do, Gvardiol is maybe the best emergency defender in the world, having taken that crown from Virgil van Dijk.
Absolutely. So the game is kicked off. We are underway in the semi-final. So thanks so much for joining us here at Pro Soccer Talk for another one of these lovely watch-alongs. Can see all the comments coming in. So get your comments coming in. Send us your questions throughout the game. Argentina playing in their traditional blue and white stripes, the Albiceleste. And then Croatia with their wonderful change kit, Andy, of the dark blue with the kind of lighter blue checkers on the left-hand side of the shirt. I mean, I said to you earlier, if there's a kit World Cup, Croatia for their home and away combo, they were the one that, before the tournament started, just given the trophy already. So the best dressed team at this World Cup. But early on, Argentina pressing high. Gvardiol's on the ball now, clipping it. Looking to clip it long, but cutting back in, showing all the composure that we've seen at Leipzig and why everyone's chasing him, right? He's going to be one of the main players who I think is going to be on the move. If not in January, then in the summer. And his stock is definitely risen. If we get to predictions, Andy, for this game, what do we think in terms of score prediction? Are you gonna make one right away? And let us know in the comments as well below what you guys think. Drop an Argentina or Croatia flag score prediction. But Andy, sorry, mate, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, it's all right. Logically speaking, so I'll just use this here, just the brain, none of this heart down here. I won't let that get involved into it. I think for an hour, maybe 70 minutes or so, it's going to shade towards Argentina. But I do think what we saw in the quarterfinal against the Netherlands when they brought on Wout Weghorst and went direct, I think Croatia has the potential to do that in this game with Bruno Petkovic. We've seen him a few times in this game, and if Croatia find themselves either a goal down, worst case scenario, or level at that point of the game, I think then it tips towards Croatia. And so it really, I do feel like this game is going to be decided in the first 60 minutes based on what the situation is when Croatia goes to the bench to bring him on.
Wow, Saul's there saying 2-1 to Croatia, and I could see in the comments there's a lot of Coronada 3-1 win to Argentina. Soap says Argentina's going to win easy. Obviously, the biggest upset ever. Evan, ain't no way Argentina is winning. I think they are. I think they just have a little bit of a whiff of destiny about them, this team. And we saw it in the Copa America, how this team just willed its way over the line to get Messi the first trophy internationally at the senior level. And then just seems like very similar situation. It obviously lost to Saudi Arabia. And I think I said this at the time of one of our shows. In a weird way, that probably did them the world of good, losing in the shock upset that early on. And just kind of refocused them, right? And just kind of made them just hungry not to let that happen. And hang on a minute, we've already been shocked in this tournament so far. Let's not let it happen again.
Yeah, much better to have that happen in your first game than your second or third game when you feel like you have kind of got your feet on the ground at the tournament and you've gotten started. So, yeah, they had plenty of time to recover from that. And they've gotten – typically, whoever wins a tournament like this is the team that gets better from the start to the finish. And I think both of these teams have improved massively because I was wrong, very wrong, but not high on Croatia coming into this tournament. And they didn't look good. They looked pretty poor in their first game or two, and they managed to get out of the group. And once they did, it was, all right, that was the hard part for them, it felt like. And then going into these one-game matchups, these elimination games, that's felt comfortable to Croatia.
Yeah, playing at their best. Obviously, Daniel there says 3-2 to Croatia. It's interesting to see Argentina. A lot of love for Argentina, obviously. Gabrielle says, when we will see the changes in Argentina team, look pretty darn good right now. Yeah, it's I think off the bench when you look at that situation. And by the way, my score prediction, I think Argentina's going to do it, but I think we could go to extra time again. I'm expecting kind of a long night with Croatia, the way they set up defensively. But
I didn't give you a score. I'll go 1-0 Argentina.
1-0. All right, I'll go 2-1. 2-1 Argentina, potentially in extra time. But yeah, I mean, that question there, it's incredible to see kind of the depth that they have with Di Maria, obviously on the bench, and Lautaro Martinez, and then you just have good options throughout the team as well. And it's just a really good, solid core. And I think this is probably their strongest 11. But obviously, the couple of suspensions to Montiel and Acuna that hurt them, but I don't know how much, right? So that kind of shows the strength of Argentina. By the way, just to the first 5 minutes of the game, a couple of half decent surges forward from Kovacic in midfield, as we used to see him with Chelsea. But now Messi's on the ball. Argentina are keeping it and just kind of stroking it around and feeling their way into the game. So, yeah, Andy, the question there on Argentina's depth, because they are looking, like you said, better and better every game, even though they made really hard work of it, much harder work of it than they had to against the Netherlands last time out.
Well, and what I really like about this Argentina squad is it's very balanced in terms of age and experience. Like there is a lot of very experienced depth, and they started this tournament with Di Maria in that lineup,
Mm.
Messi on the field with him, and Lautaro Martinez, and it just didn't quite work. And for whatever reason, they've gone away from that. Di Maria off the bench, and I think it has stabilized him a little bit. I think it's made him better defensively because you get that extra midfielder or extra center back in there when they were playing in a back three, and so it's just a little bit more structured, I think, and that's given them a better platform to build on. But they have young players, and Enzo Fernandez has been one of the most impressive young players at this tournament. It doesn't seem like he'll be at Benfica for too much longer after this tournament finishes. One of the big clubs in Europe, I think, is going to come calling for him. So yeah, they have veteran impact players. They have young and high potential impact players to come into this team, kind of on all levels of the field. It does feel like a pretty complete squad, at least compared to Croatia, where I think you can look up top and say, you're left wanting just a little bit.
Yeah, that's very true. And already a couple of meaty challenges coming in there. Tagliafico just got clipped, and I think it's going to be combative, right? In a word, this game. Croatia certainly battle hardened tournament
Yeah,
wise, and
yeah,
we all seen what Argentina did. And Messi's on. Uh, he's been fired up, right? After the game against the Netherlands,
yeah,
seeing his interviews post game and having a pop at
yeah.
Valverde and others. So there is really, like you said, a good balance to this Argentine
Mhm.
team. Same with Croatia. And then there's a fire as
Yep.
well within both of them that they are, Argentina's fighting for destiny for Messi.
Mhm.
And then obviously Croatia's just fighting for yet another upset kind of title. And it's pretty
Well,
incredible.
they're fighting to. Let's talk about that for a second, because they're fighting to I think, make everyone take them serious. And they went to the final last time. And coming into this tournament, and I don't know what kind of the overall tenor was, the conversation about Croatia, but it wasn't they're going back to the semifinals or the final. And so here they are once again. And I think at some point we have to ask, like, what does Croatia have to do to be taken seriously? What do they have to do to not be considered kind of a dark horse team at a tournament like this, and just say, no, they're part of the furniture. They're probably one of those teams that come the business into the tournament. They're going to be there. It feels like, and maybe it changes when Modric moves on, and they have to. I mean, it's very difficult to move on from a generation like that. Um, but this is, I mean, two tournaments in a row in the semifinals is no fluke.
No. All right. So there's on that. Here's a stat for you. If anybody's listening and you want to impress your mates down the pub or whatever, this is their sixth tournament in the
Mm,
World Cup. Croatia.
yep,
It's the third time they've reached at least a semi-final. So 50% of their World Cups they've
yep,
been at least in the semi-final. Obviously, runners up last time. Could go back-to-back finals if they win today. So
yep.
just
D-
incredible. It's amazing, right? Such a small country
Yeah.
population-wise, but to
Yep.
think about the way they've created teams
Mhm.
consistently over the last 2 decades is it's hard to explain, right? There's obviously books
Yeah.
out there that try to explain hotbeds of
Yeah.
soccer or different sports in different parts of the world, and is there something in the water and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's pretty incredible to see, Andy.
Can I add to that stat that'll really, really blow your mates' minds down at the pub? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. The other three times that they haven't gone to the semifinals, they've not even been out of the group. Every time they've gotten out of the group stage, they have gone to the semifinal or further. It is as boom or bust as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, they go big or they go home, Croatia. At the moment, they're on the ball down the left. Kramaric linking up with Sosa, by the way, he's been really, really good left back for Croatia. Another, him, Livakovic, the goalkeeper, obviously, has been sensational as well. And Croatia just pinning Argentina back now in their own half. And we're going to see a lot of that today. I think a lot of people say, oh, Croatia like to sit back and defend, but they can pin teams in when they want to give themselves a breather, like I was saying earlier. The
Yep.
defenders, the less they're defending, the better, whichever team you're on, whichever level you're playing
Yeah.
at. And yeah, just they're pinning Argentina back right now. And they've won a throw in about 5 yards in from the corner flag. And Kovacic is just kind of pulling the strings. Him and Modric are Yeah, just looking pretty on. Who we got here? We got Perisic with a long throw, winding it up. Andy, a guy who you know well from your Tottenham fanhood. He's had a decent start to life at Spurs. Good long throw in, flicked out by Romero, another Tottenham player. Half cleared. Vardiol's on it, turns inside. Modric is always like this, right? Give me the ball. Give me how many times you see him do that during a match?
Yep.
And Lovren's on it now. It's gone all the way back to Croatia's house. So let us know in the comments section where you guys are watching from. Always love doing this, be it in the USA, anywhere else in the world. Let us know where you are watching from. I'm in England. Andy's in Kansas City. Andy, it's pretty cold here at the moment. This is the coldest snap since I moved back to England I think I've ever had consistently. It's, again, cold over here. It's about 25, so 25 Fahrenheit.
It is a bit strange being cold during the World Cup, isn't it?
I know, it is. It's peculiar. Usually outside in the beer garden, chucking beers over your head and whatnot for England, but we won't talk about that because they're out of the tournament. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see that. I mean, this is probably the only Winter World Cup we're ever going to have, right? So it's definitely a momentous occasion. But we got Art Blast in New Zealand. Jane Evans is in Iowa. Hello to you. We've got South Africa in the house. Terrell Parkins is in Jamaica. Welcome back, Terrell. Great to see you again. And yeah, just keep them coming in. Let us know where you are. Trinidad. Natasha's in Trinidad.
All right.
There you go. Caribbean coming through strong. Kenya. Myanmar. Wow, South Africa again. Croatia. Seattle, Washington. Tennessee. Morocco. Oh, I bet they're happy in Morocco right now. Nigeria's in the house. Connecticut. Somalia. Canada. USA. Hello to you all. It's lovely to have you along with us. Mohammed's in Seattle. Hassan's in Nigeria. And Croatia have whipped it across towards the penalty box. Argentina half cleared. Perisic is trying to get it out for a corner, but good defending there. Croatia recycled the ball to Kovacic, to Brozovic, to Modric. Going to be saying that a lot today. Those three just pass it back and forward, don't they? Incredible. And
how would you played a bit of defensive midfield in your day, Joe? How would you like to chase the ball around against those three?
I would not like to do that. I would just, if possible, you just try and sit back, I think, and say, well, if I'm sat back here, at least they're not hurting me. Yeah. Let them have the ball in front of me.
Do you think you could even get close enough to one of them to kick them?
Don't think so. Not anymore, Andy, and not even in my prime, to be perfectly honest. So, I would try. Anybody who watched me play would know that I'd at least try that. Okay, Zambia's in the house. Kurdistan, Zambia, Nepal, Los Angeles, Atlanta. Tavoya's in Atlanta. Hello to you. Sri Lanka, Curaçao, New Jersey, Columbia, Maryland, London, Tobago. Oh, and Argentina got a chance here. Right on the edge of the box. It looked like when the ball was getting played through. Who went down there? Messi went down right on the edge of the box, Andy?
Yep, sure was.
Do you think it was a clip?
I don't think it was. I think he was looking for it, yeah.
He was.
And I think once he saw the pass was well out of his reach, it's about, well, how can I turn this into something?
Yeah, it's the referee was having none of that, right? So
and he was right there. He was on top of it.
Yeah, pretty even game though so far. So yeah, this is decent. But thanks so much for everyone for your comments and getting involved. It's great to see where you're watching from. I got visuals in my head of being sat on a beach in Jamaica or Tobago or some of these very exotic locations. Much warmer than England right now. So yeah, we got Detroit's in the house. Fair play. I've seen a replay of that Messi there, that action. Wasn't much in that, was there, Andy?
So, no.
And Croatia now are going to go for long throws, it seems, all over the place. It looks like they might have seen a weakness here in this Argentine team, maybe from the aerial threat that the Netherlands had late on in that game. So a long throw comes in, flicked on around the penalty spot, cleared by Otamendi, I believe it was. Comes out to Sosa on the left. Oh, decent ball into Kovacic. To Brozovic. Guess who's going to touch it next? Oh no, it's not Modric this time. But this is a very clear pattern of play from Croatia early on. As soon as they get a chance, they are launching it aerially into the box and making Argentina look a little bit uncomfortable, Andy.
Yeah, they are, and again, we saw that against the Netherlands. That's how they got themselves back in. It's the only way they got themselves back into that game. They were just not at the races for 80 minutes against Argentina, and as soon as those long balls went up top, Argentina were completely shook, and they had no idea how to respond. And it's not just the ball in the air that they struggled with; it's that second ball coming back down after it's headed. They just were not quickest to it.
Corner to Croatia, the little magician, the
Oh,
Croatian little magician, Modric, dancing past a couple of tackles there. And then a cross coming in from the right. And I think Tagliafico chested it out. So we got a corner for Croatia here. And I'd say so far, Andy Edwards, Croatia would be much the happier team with how they started. And
yep.
they're really just setting the tempo of the game. And Argentina have not been aggressive enough for my liking.
Yeah,
Short
but at
corner.
the same time, I think Argentina are pretty happy with allowing what Croatia have had
Ball
at
to
the
the back
moment.
post, the header going up from Lovren, but it's wide. Sorry to cut you off, Andy.
No, no,
Argentina
you're fine.
decently happy, you think?
Yeah, I think they would. You can't win the game in the first 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. You can certainly lose it. And so, if Croatia want to come out and be a little bit more aggressive than we've seen during this tournament, and Argentina be a little bit more, not conservative, but not take maybe as many chances as they have early on, and kind of get the game to halftime and take stock then. The semifinals and finals are typically not the best games ever, right? Because everybody's afraid to lose. Everybody's got their tactical plan, and they've drilled it so much by this point of a tournament that they're not going to go away from it. All that work undone for the biggest game of the tournament thus far, and so it always plays out a bit of a stalemate for a time period until one of the teams, one of the coaches, is going to say, okay, it's time to abandon that and we're going to do something else. And then the game really picks up and it just takes off, and it can really open up and get end to end and really entertaining quickly.
In a word, cagey, right? These
Yep,
affairs are usually
that's the
very,
one.
very cagey. So hopefully we're not saying that too much tonight. And there's lots of action as Croatia come on the attack. Kramaric holds the ball up. And by the way, his Leicester City days seem like decades
I
ago, right? I mean,
know. Yeah.
he's never really quite worked for him
No.
there, but still pretty incredible to see his career develop. Okay, Sosa's coming down the left, whipping in a cross, and he's overhit it massively, to be fair. And that is still going somewhere in the crowd. And the crowd, by the way, vast majority
Wow.
Argentine fans. It's a huge, huge fan base there that have traveled to Qatar, that are just supporting Messi, and probably traveled all over the world just to be in Qatar to try and watch Messi win the World Cup. And but some good pockets of Croatia fans there. They obviously travel and they're used to actually doing pretty well at these major tournaments, like we spoke about earlier. So a reminder to everyone watching in the USA: if you watch in Spanish, you can watch on our partners Telemundo and on Peacock. Pull up a stream. You can see in the comments section at the very top there is a link for you to do that, and also you can watch in Fox in English if you're in the USA. So just a reminder there for everyone: pull up a stream if you're at work, if you're hanging out somewhere else. I don't know. I was going to say driving, but you probably don't want to be watching along if you're driving. I don't obviously suggest that.
Please
Pull
don't.
over safely and then watch along with us. But if you're out and about, and we'll keep you updated everything going on in this massive World Cup semi-final between Argentina and Croatia. Just 18 minutes gone, 0-0. And Romero there just clipping the surging Mateo Kovacic, who's had a really good tournament, hasn't he? Obviously been out injured for Chelsea kind of in spells over the last few seasons, but we think back to the Champions League final when they won that. Just how classy he is on the ball. He's probably one of the most underrated somehow midfielders still in the Premier League, I'd say. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh yeah, well, and I think the fact that he's been injured this season and not very present for them, I think just 5 or 6 starts the season for Chelsea is a big reason why they've struggled to the degree that they have. Obviously, there's other factors and things going on there, yeah, but and he is the perfect kind of complement to Modric, because Modric, we know how creative he can be. Kovacic got a little bit of bulldog to him. He will get in there and he will mix it up and not protect a player like Modric, but he will hold the defensive shape and make them very, very difficult to play through in the middle.
Absolutely. So yeah, Argentina coming down the left, just a lot of possession right now for them, but not really any No penetration really from Argentina so far. They haven't really gotten behind Croatia, and Croatia win it back in midfield again. Brozovic now coming forward, looking for Perisic, coming down the left. And what I love about this Argentine team, they get back in numbers, right? I mean, they're not scared to do the dirty work, and they know that they've got Alvarez and Messi up top, and so many great, wonderful, gifted, talented players. But defensively, they do the shift, and now they've just kind of harried Croatia into giving the ball away, and now it's an Argentine throw-in down their right flank as Lionel Scaloni, the manager, just having a few quiet words. Maybe he's seen something there tactically that he's trying to pass on to the players. But yeah, I guess so far, so good for both teams. It's the key. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, well, we're 20 minutes in, and the combined expected goals between these teams is 0.01. So cagey, I would say.
Cagey. Night of the word. Well, sorry, word of the night.
I knew what you meant.
Either way. I was going to say, yeah, that's. I feel like most of Croatia's games have been cagey, right? That's just the way they like it. So that's why I think they'll be happier. The happier of the two teams.
Well, and there's a huge value to knowing who you are and the best way for your team to play, the mentality, and that's just one of the huge benefits of being an experienced team. The way that both of these are, like both of these teams, as much as experience and age as there is, these guys have been playing together for the national team for 5 and 8 and 10 and in some cases 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
And so, there's also go ahead.
Sorry, Messi's on the ball and then just tries to clip it through, but it's cleared by Croatia. But go ahead.
Yeah, and you care more, don't you, when it's a group that you've been with, and it's why all these players, or all the Argentina players, immediately sprinted to Messi last summer when they won Copa America. It's exactly why I believe that the Croatian players have kind of rallied around Modric as well, knowing that this is his final tournament and knowing what he's meant, not just to the program and to the country, but to them personally as well. Like all of those players that have come through with him in the team, he's brought all them into the fold. He has welcomed them all in and just been the consummate leader and consummate professional and the type of player that, I mean, Real Madrid have won how many Champions Leagues since he's been there? It's not a coincidence that he goes there and has that much success. And then he comes of the prime years of his career, and Croatia goes to a World Cup final. Croatia goes to a World Cup semifinal. He is the ultimate class player.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I was looking at some of the head-to-head stats on Messi against Modric earlier. 26 games they played against each other in their career. Actually, Modric has the edge, 12 wins for him. And if you look at league titles, Messi has 11, Modric has 6. Champions League titles, obviously Messi has 4, Modric has 5. And then Ballon d'Or, Modric has 1, Messi has 7. So obviously Messi has the edge there. But to have 2 Ballon d'Or winners, number 10s on either team, captains, talismans for their nation, and it's just it's pretty incredible to see them both battling it out at the semi-final stage. And in terms of other key battles, any other key areas we think? I mean, down this left-hand side for Croatia with Sosa playing so well in this tournament, and then Perisic ahead of him. Is that kind of a key area there, we think, where they can maybe get Argentina and whip in some of those crosses? Because Molina has played really well, and it looks kind of like a combination of players are drifting out to the right, sort of Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, but it's really fluid there for Argentina in that part of the pitch.
Yeah, well, I think it has to be because Croatia are certainly looking to overload on the left side. They've got Perisic, who's obviously going to look to cut in onto his right foot and create through the middle. But with Sosa overlapping and keeping that width, you have to keep someone, if not 2 players, all the way out to the touchline to account for him because his service from the left side is so good. And we know that if they can get the ball into the box, that's probably the best way for Croatia to create chances at the moment, at least. And so, they're targeting that side, and Argentina are just kind of responding right now. We're seeing the game plan laid out by Croatia, and now we're seeing the response by Argentina and how they're going to counter that.
Yeah, they're trying to get out wide. A good cross from the left, just clipped towards the back stick, and Croatia have cleared it, and now it's an Argentine throw that's thrown centrally, and they're picking up kind of just the pace of the play, Argentina now. Obviously, little pockets of space.
Yep.
Getting on the ball, looking for Messi. A shot from distance, pushed out by Livakovic, and Croatia clear. But much, much better from Argentina now as they're working their way into this World Cup semi-final. And again, can't believe I'm saying that.
There's 4 games left.
I know, final 4 games of the tournament. And it feels like only yesterday we were kicking the thing off and had all those games ahead of us. So what an amazing tournament it's been. But Argentina playing more direct now, playing into Messi, but he loses the ball, and now Croatia playing more direct, and they couldn't find Kramaric with a long ball forward of their own. So we just kind of saw there that was an opportunity where Croatia are going to look to get forward quickly, because Argentina, they do commit bodies forward, don't they, when they go in attack? And we kind of saw that, I guess, against Saudi Arabia in that opener where they got caught out a couple of times with direct passes over the top and then some superb finishes, which we know Croatia has the quality to replicate. So Perisic has won it back. Sosa, good tackle. Brozovic plays it out to the right. And Juranovic, who's been really good, the Celtic right back, was really good in the quarterfinal. And again, these are some players that are playing for their futures, right? Maybe playing for a move to a different team or just to showcase themselves for the future, that when the January window opens, they'll be at the forefront of people's mind. And, here comes Kovacic. Lovely tackle to dispossess Messi. Rides another tackle, surging forward. Kramaric gets the ball, keeps hold of it, but gets clipped. And Croatia have won a free kick 30 yards out. And that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yep.
Whenever Croatia win the ball there, Andy, they're looking to get forward as quick as possible, either with a pass or a surge and run like that from Mateo Kovacic. The Chelsea man has been exceptional.
Yeah, well, and that's what made the last chance that they had when they won the ball and they couldn't find Kramaric so disappointing, was that obviously the chance was there, and even if it doesn't come to a scoring chance, the worst thing that comes of that opportunity is going to be a free kick for Croatia. And obviously they've got one here now, but we have seen balls in the air where Argentina struggled just a little bit. And so as many free kicks, as many corner kicks, as many set pieces as Croatia can have in this game. And also that shortens the game as well. The time continues to run. They're not having to run and defend. They're not having to play and drain themselves. Remember, they've played 2 games that have gone all the way to penalty kicks, and they've changed very, very little of their squad throughout the tournament.
Absolutely. You've got a free kick coming in from the right then for Croatia. All the big men are up. Gvardiol, Lovren, Modric has stood over it. Looks like, is he going to clip it in, Andy, towards the back post and kind of follow that Netherlands model against Argentina to expose them defensively? Here comes Modric, steps up. Lovely little dink towards the penalty spot, but Argentina clear. And now Messi's on it on the edge of his own box. Gets clattered a little bit, but Argentina now are surging forward down the right-hand side. Here they come. Rodrigo de Paul. Big switch to the back post. Julian Alvarez is trying to attack it. But Modric is there, as he seems to be everywhere, right, to clear it on his own 6-yard box after taking the free kick all the way at the other end of the pitch about 30 seconds earlier. So just incredible engine from that man. I feel like he never, ever looks tired on the football pitch.
Yeah. Joe, Fox just showed a really good stat over here in the U.S. I don't know if you saw it, but Croatia, 46 minutes they have led at this World Cup out of 543 minutes that they've played at the World Cup. They have led for 46 minutes, and they are in the semifinals, 1 win away from the final. That's pretty incredible.
That is incredible. I feel like those stats are always the best ones, right? When it comes
and
to
all 46 of those minutes had to be against Canada, right?
Yeah, it was actually. And then you know what? It's like that just tells me they're a tournament team. You hear that saying
100%.
But they are a tournament team. When push comes to shove and they need to show up and just be resilient and keep themselves in games, certain teams just always seem to be really good at doing that.
How many teams and how many fans, especially, and I'm guilty of it as well, never feel comfortable in a level game. It's always it could go against us. It could always be a goal for the other team. It seems like Croatia always have the mindset of level is great for us. We think we'll score next, or if nobody's like, it's just being level always feels terrifying to me. And Croatia seems so comfortable and so at ease in that situation because, I guess all the experience that they have being in these tournaments.
Yeah, they're surging forward again with Brozovic again. That seems to be we talk about the control in the tempo, and yes, they're good on the ball, Modric, Kovacic, and Brozovic, but again, surging forward, keeping the ball, dribbling. That's such a huge part for that midfield trio there. Andy, I wanted to discuss the managers. Obviously, Scaloni for Argentina and Dalic for Croatia. very different expectations for those two managers. I mean, Dalic is already kind of the winner again, I think, from this tournament, the way that he's guided Croatia to another semi-final. But for Scaloni, I mean, pretty much it's win the World Cup or bust for him, right? And he's obviously a younger coach, but they're heading in the right direction. I don't think he's going to lose his job if they don't win the World Cup. But you see what I'm saying? Like the expectation now in Argentina, pretty much mostly around the world, maybe aside from in France, is that they are the favourites to win this, or with Messi, destiny, and all the rest of it. So there is extra pressure and different expectations on Argentina compared to Croatia, just because of the footballer nations they are as well, right? Historically.
Yeah, but they also both find themselves in a very similar situation after this World Cup. Whether the coaches stay on or they don't, the best player for each team going to retire. There probably will be a handful of other players that will decide that they're not the right player to be around for 4 years for a rebuild.
Oh, and Perisic cuts inside. His shot did it take a deflection? It looked like it took a deflection and looped up.
I thought it did for sure.
The referee gave a goal kick there, but again, great play from Kovacic to find him. Modric was majestic as always. Oh, that's 100% taking a deflection.
Unless, did it come back off of him after it took the deflection?
The angle I'm seeing,
not even close.
Did not look like that. So, no corner for Croatia, but explain to me, anybody in the comments, how that's not a corner. Would love to hear that. Okay, huge chance here coming for Argentina. Oh, off the line by Dejan Lovren. Long ball over the top. Julian Alvarez has gone down. A yellow card's been brandished. It looks like, Andy.
Yep.
I think it might be a penalty kick.
Yep.
It's a penalty kick.
That's great refereeing there. Let the play continue on out. If the ball finds the back of the net, it's a goal. If it's not, the scoring chance is restored. That's really, really good refereeing.
The goalkeeper, Livakovic, has been booked. I don't know if the contact was made outside the box. That's the only thing I'm seeing. Got to see a replay of this. But one long ball over the top from Argentina caused chaos there. Yeah. We're seeing a replay finally. Alvarez is in behind. Lovren's been caught out. Livakovic is in the penalty box. He's clipped him. I don't know, though. Did Alvarez kind of initiate the contact there? A little bit?
I think because of the fact the ball was lifted past the goalkeeper and it's still in play, and if he's not taken down, I think he can continue on and touch the ball in. Now, obviously, Lovren is there to challenge and to make a play, but I think preventing him from continuing on and being able to touch that ball again, I think is the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity there, right? Because if he just fires it past him, obviously it's a goal and we don't have to worry about it. If he puts the shot wide, I don't know that it's a foul. I don't know that it's a penalty because that scoring chance has already gone.
Okay, so Lionel Messi stepping up for yet another penalty kick for Argentina. Scored one, missed one, right? So far at this tournament, yeah. Is that correct?
And as well the shootout too. So.
And the shootout, and oh wow, this is a big moment for him on so many levels. He's stepping up. He could break a lot of records with this one goal, Andy, if he scores. Emi Martinez, the Argentine goalkeeper, cannot look. He's looking the opposite way. Here comes Messi with that wonderful left foot. He's stepping up, smashes it into the top corner, and Argentina lead 1-0.
Oh,
what a penalty kick that was. Fantastic finish. And Andy Edwards, Argentina are one step closer towards getting to that World Cup final. A massive moment to break through against Croatia and, dare I say, slightly against the run of play.
Hugely against the run of play. And not that Croatia have created a bunch of great scoring chances, but a lot of the game has been played in Argentina's half. A lot of the game has been played with Argentina chasing the ball around the field. And that's not something they're probably incredibly used to, but I think they were probably prepared for it this game because they've not struggled with the defensive rotations. They've not struggled getting back in transition. They have been very, very comfortable just letting the game play out before them and waiting for an opportunity to do something they don't typically do. Go very direct over the top. Like when that kind of space is there, not just in behind, but between those two center backs, you have to try to take advantage of that. And one, you can create a penalty opportunity like they did. But two, you keep the other side really, really honest and you force them to defend a little bit deeper. They can't creep up, they can't squeeze the midfield. And then suddenly the midfield battle becomes a little bit easier. Those second balls, there's not quite as many of those dark blue shirts and they're chasing it around. So this is a really, really good spot for Argentina to be in. I feel like even though we saw them 2 goals up just last round and they blew it,
Sure.
I do think this also forces Croatia, whatever their attacking change is going to be, it might just have to come at halftime now rather than wait until 60 minutes.
Absolutely. Some context there on that Lionel Messi goal. He becomes Argentina's top scorer in World Cup history with that 11 World Cup goals in the finals. And obviously now he is level with Kylian Mbappe as the top goal scorer at this tournament as well, Andy. So he's, level with Mbappe.
Isn't it awesome when the big names just always show up the way that those two seem to do?
We appreciate it. And also, they're level on assists as well, I believe. So
Wow.
actually, it's going to be interesting to see if they do play in the final, as we expect they might. Then let's see if it's just Mbappe and Messi going all out for the gold boot as well as the World Cup trophy. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. I was going to ask you, Andy, about Messi's performance so far, but aside from him going down under no contact, that he hasn't really been on the ball much during the game, has he? So that was he stepped up, done the business, huge pressure moment. And after missing that penalty kick earlier in the tournament, a little bit of nerves must have been going through his mind. We talked about this before. He's actually not the best penalty kick taker in the world, and obviously he's one of the best.
I don't know. He takes so many of them though, because Barcelona
and bored. He gets bored.
Well,
and he's like,
I don't think you get bored, but you do something so many times, you're eventually going to miss a few, right? Like not all of them are going to be perfect. And he plays for Barcelona, or he did, plays for PSG. All due respect to refs, those teams get calls. There's a lot of penalty opportunities. There's a lot of penalty opportunities for Argentina as well. And so eventually, yeah, he's going to miss some, but look how many he has scored.
Yeah, that is true. He's scored a lot, done a lot of great things. And right now, his great strike of his left foot from the penalty spot has Argentina 1-0 up against Croatia, less than 10 minutes before half-time. And it's looking pretty good for Argentina right now. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win. Are we going to see a big Croatia comeback? Or Argentina going to build on this lead? Croatia are coming forward down the right. Kramaric is cutting inside. Looking for out on the left. Perisic has it. Kovacic, edge of the box. Now out to Sosa on the left. He's cutting inside. Right-footed cross. But Romero, I think, was there to clear it again. And him and Otamendi have done really well clearing those crosses early on. Kovacic to Brozovic to Modric down the right. Lovren's coming here. Juranovic. Good cross in, and it's a corner kick to Croatia. So they responded okay, Andy.
They're comfortable with this. And to go back to a point I made earlier about them being comfortable in games where they're level. So Fox, again, just showed another really, really good stat here in the U.S., Joe. The last 7 times Croatia have fallen behind in the World Cup, they have lost just one of them, and that was the 2018 final against France. And so they are very comfortable coming back from behind, playing from behind, getting themselves back into games. They do not panic. And so I don't imagine that we see Argentina just run away with this.
Yeah, of course. Corner's coming in. Short one by Modric. Back to Brozovic. Whips in, but Argentina are out to defend it. And now they got a chance to break here with Messi on the ball. He gets clattered, but play is waved on. Argentina surging forward now to 3-on-2 situation. Alvarez gets in it. He's in on goal. It's a goal. An incredible goal from Argentina. Alvarez has basically just run the length of about half the pitch, over half the pitch there. And he's running on goal and bundled his way through about 3 challenges, a couple of them half-hearted, but somehow just finished it off, Andy. And
not like this, Joe. Not like this for Croatia.
Oh, Argentina
pinball in the penalty area. The pinball in the penalty area, and it just falls to him as he runs beyond the goalkeeper. That is, and it's a lightning quick counterattack, and Argentina got out and just went. So all credit to them. But for Croatia, who have been so good in those defensive situations this tournament, to be beaten on just a couple of weird bounces in the penalty area. That's tough. That's the World Cup.
That is the World Cup right there. Just mind-boggling, really. Yeah, Juranovic and Souza, the two fullbacks covering, both couldn't clear it, both slipping off balance. The ball flicked up, kept just finding its way back to Alvarez, who was just like
magnetic ball,
unbelievable. Just bulldozed his way straight through the entire Croatian defense and then just volleyed it home. You could see his smile when the ball popped up to him 4 or 5 yards out on that replay there. He just knew he was about to score for Argentina in the World Cup semi-final. And the Man City youngster, who we've seen little spells of him so far, with Erling Haaland being so good this season. But whenever he's come on for Man City, he's looked so sharp. And whenever he's been given an opportunity, he seems to score. And he's done it here for Argentina. Argentina 2, Croatia 0 just before halftime in this World Cup semi-final. And but Croatia keep coming forward again. Kramaric on the edge of the box, but again, Argentina. What I've loved about this Argentine display is they're winning the ball back, so hungry to win it back, and when they do, we've seen on these attacks now, right, springing direct attacks forward. And now, Andy, it's 2-0 to Argentina again. I wonder what we're going to see from them, if they've learned their lesson from the last time they were 2-0 up in the quarterfinals against the Netherlands.
I was just thinking that it's incredible how different they look just in their demeanor and the way that they're approaching the game, and they did those final 10 or 15 minutes against the Netherlands. Like how you can go from this is how good they looked for 80 minutes against the Netherlands to then transition into being so poor, and now they look so comfortable again. It really is incredible, kind of the human side of the game, and how those situations can almost dictate themselves to the players, and the players almost feel, I think, like they're out of control of the game.
Oh, absolutely.
That could just about have been another penalty for Argentina there.
Calling for a handball, right? So, my word. We got a corner coming in here for Argentina. Rodrigo de Paul is not happy. He says it should be a handball. Paredes is having a pop at the ref as well.
Yeah, I do think the arm was very, very close to the body, and so it was not making the defender any bigger or gaining really an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that, mate. I agree with that. All right, so corner's about to be swung in from the left. Argentina and a line straight down the middle. Corner comes in, flicks it in. Oh, what a save! And then it clips the post. Livakovic gets a hand to it, and it clips the back post. That is such a weird. Who got the head on that? I'm trying to see who got the head on there. Was it Tagliafico? I think popped up at the near post, and then the ball came in. Oh no, maybe even
McAllister. No, it's McAllister.
McAllister.
Yep.
And then Livakovic pushes it out. What an incredible save that was, Andy, to be fair, to get a hand on that close and push it onto the far post. And now Argentina have another corner, but ever since that goal went in, they've been flying, haven't they?
Well, ever since I said Croatia don't get shook and worried and scared when they go a goal down, they have looked incredibly worried and shook and scared, and they are playing very, very timid right now. And I think Argentina certainly sense that the moment to put this game away is now. And we will see if they learned not just how to get this game to the end at 2-0, but if they can put this game away long before the final whistle.
And I think Messi tried to score from the corner kick there and didn't quite get
that. That's when you know they're feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. They are feeling it tonight. So just before halftime, get your comments and questions coming in for the halftime break. And it's going to be incredible. I think for Argentina fans out there everywhere, they'll be absolutely delighted with that first half so far, Andy, barring anything crazy happening in the last couple of minutes. Just perfect for Argentina, right?
Yeah, but up until the second goal went in for Argentina, I think Croatia would have been perfectly content with the first half as well. Like they did a lot of what they wanted to do. They controlled the game. They had the ball. They made Argentina work really, really hard, and they opened up a couple of opportunities to even counter for themselves. They just were not able to take advantage of it. And Argentina have had 3 chances maybe to counter as well, and they have just made something of those opportunities. That, not to make it too simple or oversimplify, but sometimes it is that simple.
Absolutely, it is. Livakovic under pressure here, clears it to the halfway line, but Argentina win it back once again. But Croatia pressing forward here. Kramaric trying to get them on the front foot late in the first half, but just energized Argentina now. They are hunting in packs and just, like you said, Andy, they're feeling this. They know this is their moment. Let's try and put it away beyond any doubt and try and get that third goal before halftime.
You want to know how much they're feeling it right now? Messi is in the press.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He can do a lot of great things and does pretty much everything well, but pressing defensively isn't his strong suit. But even he's sitting in and helping Argentina here. But Croatia had the ball near the box. Kramaric out to Modric. Modric has a shot from distance. It goes out to the right. Juranovic crosses it in. Oh, and Emi Martinez saves it at the near post. And then Croatia nearly, is it Pasalic, I think, falls to him at the near post. And
I believe we've got an offside in there somewhere as well, so probably would not have counted.
Yeah, but they're having a go, Croatia. Once again, it's kind of weird that they're 2-0 down, but they are. Oh, this has been an intense first half there, Andy Edwards.
Yeah, and it's flown by as well. We're into first half stoppage time. I honestly can't believe it.
Yeah, it's absolutely I don't know. It's just more open than I thought. We thought we kept using that word cagey, right? And then as soon as that first goal came in, it's just turbocharged everything. We got 4 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, in the first half. But yeah, it's really just this game has just flown by, and the pace, the tempo of play, especially from Argentina. But again, Croatia are given as good as they possibly can and pushing it all the way. So, my word, it's going to be a fun game in the second half because Croatia are 45 minutes away from going out of the World Cup, so they have nothing to lose. And I think for the neutrals and as a spectacle out there, Andy, we're about to see maybe one of the best 45 minutes of the World Cup coming up here. We've had some good ones, to be fair, so I'm bigging it up massively.
Yeah, I hope so. Croatia obviously going to really have to go for it in the second half. It could also put the game to bed very, very early in the second half as well. Once they start pushing forward, Argentina have been very clinical on the break, and I think they're gonna, when they come back out for the second half, they'll be okay to sit in just a little bit and absorb some of that pressure and just frustrate Croatia, not let them into the final third, and then as they've done in this game so well, just pick their moments. When you see the center backs get spread too far apart, Julian Alvarez right up the middle. You see the center backs get a little too narrow, you're running Messi into the channels. It's just Argentina have such a good control and feel for this game. It feels like that it's going to be really, really, really difficult for Croatia to get back in.
Absolutely. You mentioned there Alvarez has been exceptional, just giving them an outlet in behind this Croatian defense and just stretching them all the way.
How much does that change Manchester City's season, especially with regards to the Champions League? If they've got two center forwards and one of them coming back from the World Cup and is just, on cloud nine and has the confidence coming back into the team for the second half of the season, we know what Haaland is doing, but if they've got two, oof.
Kramaric plays at the Perisic on the left, and his cross is poor, Andy. Really, really poor. Just lifts it onto the roof of the net. And that was a great opportunity there for Croatia to get. They had bodies forward. They had players breaking from midfield to get into the box there. And a player of Perisic's quality, you'd expect him to pick someone out. But
is that a Croatia shirt or a Tottenham shirt on Perisic with that cross right there?
Oh, that's a bit bitter. It sounds like
his early promise
faded. His early promise.
He's not been awesome for Spurs this season so far. He's had some tough moments, but he's been very good at this tournament, I should say.
Early on, he was pretty good for Spurs, right? He just maybe had one eye on the World Cup towards the end of the
perhaps
break. But Messi, close up on him, of course, as we head right towards half time, and it looked like a little bit of time wasted already from Emi Martinez there. So
he doesn't play games at all.
He's never done that. He's never done that.
He is one of the great characters, especially in the Premier League right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He says what's on his mind. You can never fault him for saying that, good or bad. I say about the referees the other day, and he's not shy. Argentina win the ball back high up the pitch. Messi's on it. Casually nutmegs a couple of players, dinks around another three, still has the ball somehow. There's 4 Croatian players around him. Then he gets clipped in the corner and wins a free kick. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the brilliance of Lionel Messi.
Just
And
give
that
him
is
the trophy
half-time.
already.
That is half-time, Andy Edwards. So the first half ends with Messi taking on about 4 Croatia players, weaving away from them, squirming away from them, and then winning. The only way they can stop him is to foul him. And he's the one smiling at halftime. Argentina 2, Croatia 0. Lionel Messi penalty kick, and then a Julian Alvarez weird goal. Surged forward, bundled through several tackles. The ball broke to him, and it goes, and he finishes it off and puts it in the net. So halfway through this World Cup semi-final, Andy Edwards, what's your assessment of how this game has panned out so far?
So I'm looking at some of the numbers here. This is just really, really, really bad luck for Croatia, I feel like. So of all the players in the field in the first half, touch-wise, no player, the top top players with the 3 top number of touches in the first half, Brozovic, Kovacic, Modric. Nobody for either side matches them or even really comes close to them. And so Croatia have had the ball where they want to have the ball. They've had those 3 dictating the game and pulling some of the strings. And they've just been unable to really break through and create like a clear and obvious scoring opportunity. And Argentina have just kind of punted the ball down the field a couple of times, found something out of absolutely nothing in situations that at this tournament especially, Croatia have been brilliant at defending. They have dealt with so well time and again at this World Cup. And I don't know, sometimes the clock just strikes midnight on some of these Cinderella teams, and what has worked up until a certain point just suddenly goes against you. And at that point, I think you probably feel the most defeated of that you can, because they're going to go into the locker room and say, well, we played basically exactly how we wanted to in that first half. We've done what we've done this whole tournament, and we find ourselves 2-0 down to Argentina, to Messi. It's an incredible hill to climb.
Oh, it really is. It really is. And just looking at some of the scenes and celebrations from those Argentine fans, I mean, it seems like they already think they're in the World Cup final, Andy. Obviously, last time they were in it was 2014. We know how that turned out against Germany, but can we already start looking ahead towards the final?
No, because we've seen this from Argentina already.
True.
Yeah, let's get to the end, and we'll do that then, Joe.
Yeah, I think I tweeted out during the last game when the second goal went in for Argentina and Messi scored the penalty kick against the Netherlands. Like, oh, that's them in the final. And then all my mentions were just Argentine fans saying, why would you do that? Why would you? And I was like, no, it'll be fine. And then Wout Weghorst happened, and it was 2-2. So get your questions coming in, get your comments. How do you guys think the second half is going to turn out? Is this going to be a walk in the park for Argentina? Or are we going to see another crazy comeback in this tournament? A tournament of just craziness generally. And Croatia certainly have it in the locker. I love a good pun, Andy Edwards. So we got some good ones coming in here. Zegov says Croatia is in a messy situation. That's a good dad joke.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm all here for that. So anybody else with any dad jokes or any bad jokes or any just jokes in general, get them coming in. Kevin Fonseca says Messi is not playing games today. Determined. Yeah, 100%. Saw it from the start. This whole Argentine team. Orlando says Messi will finally get his prize. He deserves it. I think cannot disagree with that comment, right? I mean, for what he's done, I know it's on the here and now, but when you look over the last 2 decades, essentially what Messi has done consistently season after season for Barcelona, not always for Argentina, because maybe his excerpts for Barca during the league seasons and now PSG, but for everything he's done in the game and the quality and the talent he is, and sort of how unlucky he's been that Argentina have had some really poor squads while he's been around as well.
I was going to ask you a question about that. It's not the most talent that Argentina has ever put around him. They're not the most big names that they've ever put around him, but is it the best team?
I think so. It's the best unit for sure. I think every single player knows their role. I think there's that togetherness you talked about earlier. I think winning the Copa America gave them a huge amount of belief that they can go and do this on the World Cup stage, reach the final. But yeah, I think there's a real good balance between experienced and in youth in this as well. And I think maybe previous Argentine squads, there's a lot of experienced players. If you look at Mascherano and so many other players in that team that just maybe stuck around a little bit too long to try and help Messi, and maybe felt a little bit of, that generation with him. He's obviously, he's coming towards the end of his career, but his genius, you can get away with getting to that age and what he can do on the ball. But some of the other players that came through with him in that great generation just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They've
I
kind of
do also find it interesting that those players moving on allowed him to become the unquestioned leader of the team. Because even when he
yeah.
was the best player of on those Argentine teams, it didn't feel like it was his team. Like you say, Mascherano, I probably was the one player who, just as the figurehead, if nothing else, was very much the leader. And since he's come into that role, um, I do think he's grown as well. And obviously he's not the physical player that he once was at his peak, but just that leadership and the way that it seems like. And tell me if you disagree with this or if I'm just way wrong. But it seems like Messi, in comparison to a lot of other kind of transcendent greats, I'm thinking of a Michael Jordan, even a Ronaldo, and not to bring Messi Ronaldo into this, but Messi really truly connects with his teammates, and it seems that he has relationships with them that matter, and those things matter, especially at an international tournament where you go away for a month, you see no one but these same people over and over and over again. And it feels like that little bit of the intangibles, the chemistry, the off-field stuff is really it's just perfect for Argentina right now, and that has certainly not always been the case.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there is just a really good chemistry between this entire Argentine squad. I think we saw in the last game they're ready to scrap for each other and put everything out on the line. And then when you have the quality that they have in attack, as we're seeing replays of Alvarez flying through to win the penalty for the first, and then obviously finishing off his second, a clear plan as well. It seems that they're quite happy to sit back and let Croatia get a bit ahead of themselves, right? And then commit a couple of players forward. And then as soon as Argentina almost win it back on the secondary press, they're not too keen to press high defensively on Croatia's defensive line, but almost press on that midfield line and then pounce and really go forward. So yeah, Messi, they got a clear plan, and then they have Lionel Messi as well. So Argentina's looking pretty good. In terms of the MVP of the first half, Andy Edwards, is it Alvarez for those two incredible runs? Probably, right? He's given
Yep.
Argentina a totally different dimension and exactly what they needed in this game, because we were talking about how Croatia haven't really had to defend that much last-ditch situations before this, how they've controlled the tempo of the game. But these couple of balls to him over the top using his speed, and the Man City youngsters caused havoc with that, scoring one and winning the penalty with another great run. Yeah. So he's got to be the MVP of the first half.
Listen, let's just give Pep another idea, another way of scoring goals in the Premier League with that team of world-class, aliens that he has, because that's exactly what he needs. But it's been the best way forward for Argentina in this game. I do think also a bit of a mention, and I don't think you can really split them up because they work in tandem so well. But Otamendi and Romero back there have really, really locked things down in the back. And even when they got stretched a little bit and space opened up, they recovered well, or they stepped into the passing lane and won the ball back. So, Emi Martinez, even the most dangerous looking chance that Croatia had was offside in the end, and so it didn't even count. That entire back line is really working in unison. They're stepping forward, setting that offside line and everything. So it's just, yeah, Alvarez stands out, but it has been a fantastic team performance all the way around from Argentina.
Modric has been pretty good. I think for Croatia, their best moments have obviously flowed through him. And again, they haven't been bad. I think they can feel pretty hard done by to be 2-0 down at half time. But it's just the hunger that we're seeing from Alvarez on his goal. We look at some of the replays to kind of force the short corner to be half cleared, to close it down initially, then pick up the second ball, get on the end of Messi's pass, and then run just 60 yards straight towards goal. And I think he earned that luck from the poor deflections from Croatia, poor clearances, and with his intent, attacking intent, I'm going to go to goal, I'm going to win the game. So,
when I say, so I like to use a phrase, we talk about create scoring chances. That's a forced scoring chance. They forced that chance to come to fruition by putting the ball into the penalty area, by forcing Croatia to deal with it in a situation that's very uncomfortable, and having, obviously, one of the best young strikers in the world in Alvarez, the one pursuing it and able to put it away. But if the game is not going exactly as you want it and you're not able to play the beautiful football that you wish, sometimes that's the best way forward.
Okay, so how do Croatia come back in the second half? Because we've seen a clear blueprint from the Netherlands. That was a bit later in the second half when they were 2-0 down, but they lumped it long. They were going towards the Argentine fullbacks with long crosses and knockdowns. And now with Argentina with a flat back four, I do wonder if they're going to bring on Lissandro Martinez and maybe go to a back five and just to kind of guide that threat. But when I look at the Croatian bench, Petkovic and Orsic, right? We've seen them cause chaos for Dynamo Zagreb, mostly against English teams in the Champions League and Europa League the last few years. But they're so direct and quick and are used to playing with balls coming in high into the box. So that's the way that Croatia can get back in this, right? It's probably like anti against their game plan and their philosophy with how many players they have in their team. But, it's now or never for them. They have to do something different because it's not getting the results they needed to.
Yeah, I don't think Argentina want to go to a back three because when you're in a back three, assignments are unclear, right? Like, because when you're in a flat back four, 2 center backs with the 2 fullbacks, everybody knows their assignment, everybody knows their space. 3-man back line is so much more fluid and allows for the other side to pull you out of your shape a lot more easily. And I think that's what got Argentina into trouble against the Netherlands. It wasn't that they couldn't win the ball in the air; it's that they had too many of their players and their defenders back behind the ball when the second ball came down. And so if they put on another center back, it's probably at the expense of a central midfielder. And then they lose a number in there winning those second balls out. And we know exactly if Croatia do go direct, that means they're going to push Modric, they're going to push Brozovic, they're going to push Kovacic higher up the field so that they are the ones winning the ball back and on the ball in those quick split decision moments. And so I think that could be disaster. That might actually be the best way for Croatia back into the game is if Argentina throws on another center back and it just opens up more spaces in between the defenders as well because those fullbacks push higher. But it does have to be direct, I think, from Croatia because we've seen it this tournament already, and they've just, for as much as they controlled possession in that first half, they created almost nothing.
Delicately balanced so far. Chai has a really good question here. How should Argentina play the second half?
Exactly as they did in the first.
Pretty much, right?
Because all they did was soak it up, get on the ball, relieve the pressure off of their defense, force Croatia to get back defensively. And sometimes they went for it, sometimes they didn't. And in the moments that they went for it, they were able to create those chances on the counter. And as Croatia pushed forward more in the second half, there's going to be even more there. There's going to be even more space. And so if Argentina can just be patient, get on the ball in the right spots, and then look to break at the right moment, I could see them scoring the third goal of this game just as easily as I could see Croatia doing it.
I think I'd probably bring on Di Maria pretty quickly. Maybe for Alvarez. It sounds a bit weird, but just that Croatia are going to be more direct and come at you. So when you win the ball back, you want to have a player who can keep it. And we know Di Maria is so good, wriggling away, his connection with Messi. And I just think that might be maybe on the 60-minute mark if it's 2-0, still just to kind of help. Just suck some of the life out of the game, right? Di Maria is a master at just taking people on, winning free kicks. And obviously his set piece delivery is excellent as well. It's let's get your predictions for the second half. How you guys think it's going to play out? We've got quite a few coming in. Costa said Argentina wins. There ain't no comeback for Croatia. Loco Fool says Argentina 6, Croatia 2.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so. But, and then, there were some comments coming in about Kevin's got a great one here. The 2022 World Cup has been so many roller coaster rides. Croatia, give us another one. They could do it, to be fair. I mean, we should rename this cup, this World Cup, the Chaos Cup, right? Basically, this is what it's been from start to finish over the last month. So, Kevin, hopefully for neutrals out here like Andy and I, it is chaotic and we have crazy comebacks and momentum swings and goal swings galore. Argentine fans probably aren't asking for that. I understand that.
I do find myself rooting for the team that's losing in a lot of the games at this World Cup. Have you experienced the same?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
As an England fan, definitely the other night as well.
Well, okay, yeah, that wasn't an England or US comment, but just give us something.
Yeah, no, you're right. As the players are out for the second half now, and the Argentine fans in the stadium look quite relaxed, and there's a few praying as well. So there's a few already getting a bit nervous. But okay, we got Orsic coming on at halftime. And Pasalic and Sosa are off. And we got Vlasic coming on as well. So attacking subs there from Croatia, as we thought. Vlasic struggled at West Ham United, but for Croatia, he's been totally different. One of those players that suits the international game more than club football, which is weird, always weird when that happens. But obviously a quality player in there. And Orsic, we know kind of his threat, Dynamo Zagreb. And there's a close-up there, Lionel Messi. Don't know if he's got a scratch, but he seemed to be itching his left
It was a very interesting shot by the cameraman there.
Hamstring area.
And certainly the director to take it and put it on.
Let's just call it the hamstring area and leave it there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're off for the second half. A reminder to everyone out there, if you're joining us, thanks so much. Get your comments coming in. Ask Andy and I absolutely everything about Argentina, Croatia, football, life in general. We're here to chat.
Throw some Premier League in there. It's starting to creep back into my mind.
Yeah, how many days we got? We got what, 13 days until Boxing Day, the big extravaganza when it all returns. So obviously on NBC's platforms, the channels, and across Pro Soccer Talk and NBCSports.com, we'll have all the information, how to watch, preview, stream links for the Premier League return. Cannot wait for that, Andy. We're rolling from one big tournament straight back into the biggest league in the world. Love it.
Yeah.
And a reminder to everyone out there, at the top of the comments section, you'll see a pinned comment there, which is if you're watching in the US and you want to watch in Spanish, on our NBC family of channels, you can watch on Telemundo, you stream on Peacock, so pull up a Peacock stream, mute that, obviously, and then have Andy and I here to answer your questions and ask away, and we will do our very best to get to all of them. So many comments coming in. And a reminder, you can watch in English in the USA on Fox as well, on their platforms. But we got a free kick early in the second half. Yep. Modric, the little maestro. Here he is. And Messi is in a one-man wall, by the way, which is interesting. So Modric is looking about 20 yards out on the right. Lovely position for him to whip this towards the penalty spot here and have some of these Croatian big men here to attack it. And they're attacking the goal where their fans are behind. Modric comes in once, feints, goes back, clips it towards the back stick. But Emi Martinez with a lovely take. Cool and calm as you like. Modric just kind of overhit that, right, Andy? But you can see what they're trying to do again. They're trying to clip it towards the back post and get that overload situation that the Netherlands had against Argentina. It's a clear path here.
Very much looking at to knock that one back down across the face of goal, and just whether it hits a Croatian leg, it hits an Argentine leg, just find the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the ball's now all the way down the other end as Argentina clear their lines once again. So this is interestingly poised now, Andy, as we're seeing Zlatko Dalic is taking more chances. Argentina, what do they do? I'm kind of it's difficult. It's difficult for them, I think, given the last game they were 2-0 up against the Netherlands as well. That'll be at the forefront of your mind if you're a player. As they come down the left, Alexis McAllister from Brighton and Hove Albion, cutting inside, taking on Dejan Lovren, finds Lionel Messi on the edge of the box, who is, they think he's brought down, but no foul given. Brozovic is there, but they snap it into a tackle again. McAllister wins it back. He's still going somehow. Argentina still had the ball. And then a shot from distance, which goes straight down the throat of Livakovic. But somehow there, how did Alexis McAllister keep hold of that ball? I have no idea. Just incredible.
He's a really good player. I think that's been one of the things that I hope a lot of people have seen that during this tournament. People that certainly watch the Premier League, but maybe don't watch Brighton a ton. Alexis McAllister. There's a reason he's in the Argentine team and has started, I think, all but one game at this tournament as well.
Oh, yeah, he's been excellent. Really good tournament. This, by the way, is the third World Cup meeting between Argentina and Croatia, and the first in the knockout stages ever. So, Croatia beat Argentina 3-0, by the way, in 2018, last time out in Russia. So they got some previous against them. But looks like Argentina right now are on course for some revenge, Andy. And Vlasic just got a knee in the back there from Tagliafico.
Yeah.
Protesting his innocence.
Not quite as much in it as I think Vlasic is making it look. But he's been involved already. Just 4 minutes after coming on down that right side, he's kind of found.
Petkovic is coming on 4 minutes into the second half. Brozovic has come off. Looks like he might have had a knock, right? Oh, so a bit of a blow for Croatia, but this is probably what was going to happen anyway. They're probably going to take off on those midfielders and bring on Petkovic, but they've gone early with it. And again, we've seen it for Dynamo Zagreb, right? How much of a menace he can be. And Orsic, Petkovic,
Perisic. Not to cut you off, Joe, but we've already seen Kramaric has already dropped in. So he's already playing underneath Petkovic, who is now like kind of the focal point and the backboard, if you will, of that attack where they're going to try and use him, get the ball to him, knock it down to. It looks like Vlasic is underneath. It looks like Kramaric is underneath, and obviously the midfielders will push on and join. And
already they're playing the ball into him in a nice little flick around the corner, but didn't quite reach the Croatian player who was intending to. Vardiol's playing it direct to Kramaric. He turns on the halfway line, cuts inside to Kovacic, to Modric, who cuts inside on the ball, flicks it in to Kramaric. Again, now Croatia building down the left-hand flank. This looks a bit better from them at the start of the second half. Kovacic, again with the ball, plays it in to Petkovic, lays it off to Modric, who can't quite get on it. I think it was the excellent Enzo Fernandez who won it back, and now he's surging forward. Argentina have got a break on, but Orsic gets back, wins it, and now Croatia are coming back the other way. This is end-to-end stuff now. I think this is what it's going to be like for most of the second half, Andy Edwards.
Yep.
As Modric looks to get on the ball, he's on it, 30 yards or 40 yards from goal, clips it out to the left. Kramaric then has it. Perisic to Kovacic, sustained pressure here and possession from Croatia. But Argentina, once again, win it back. And Enzo Fernandez in midfield has been absolutely excellent. We talked about it before, right? Incredible rise to Benfica, quick rise, and then looks like Liverpool have been linked with him. Other teams across Europe have been linked with him. And it could be a really big rising star in the World Game, given his performances at this World Cup.
Nicolas Otamendi has been one of the best defenders at this tournament, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Hands here for Croatia. Sorry, Andy, to cut you off. But again, they're playing into Petkovic, lays it off to Kovacic, and they just can't get the shot off, and Argentina clear. But Argentina on the back foot, flashes whips in the cross, deflected, and Emi Martinez gratefully claims it. And he is very happy to lay down on the floor with that ball in his grasp and just ease some of the pressure for Argentina. But Croatia having a really good go at the start of the second half, just as we expected, Andy. And might actually have been helped out with that injury to Brozovic that Petkovic is on early, and now they're setting out their stall, and we know what they're going to do in the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure these next 10 or 15 minutes, really, really big for Argentina to just be able to soak it up. And I'm almost not even watching Croatia right now because I'm curious how Argentina are going to respond. So I'm just looking for those white shirts on the field and seeing what shape they're taking up, first of all, and then two, seeing how when somebody steps, how they're rotating back into that space, because that's what Croatia are trying to do right now. When they're not hitting the ball long, it is making almost a dummy run to pull someone out of space to then send someone into that space. It's very, very smart, and it's kind of why I love the international game, because it almost simplifies the sport a little bit. When you watch these club teams, and especially the top teams, and especially the Premier League teams, the tactical systems are so incredibly deep and complex and well drilled that you miss a lot of what's going on, I think, in the game. And with the international game, it's just a little more A to B. 1 + 1 does equal 2 in the international game. And so you can see it developing.
Very old school, right? It's just like, it's a lot. It's amazing. That's why this tournament's been so great. It's so many teams just going for it, and see knockout situations. It's why I love cup competitions, the FA Cup or Champions League, where they get the knockout rounds. It's very similar to that, right? Okay, Croatia on the ball. Gvardiol moving forward. That whole Croatian line now, defenses inside Argentina's half all the time, stepping high. Lovren smashes a ball across pitch, but it goes straight out of play. And Modric is looking at him like, I was right here, dude. Just play it to me. I'm probably going to keep it or beat 3 players. Just keep it simple, but keep it direct. That's the message now for Croatia, right? And the Croatian fans in the stands look like they still believe they can get in. They get one here, Andy. This is going to be nervy, and they win it back again. On the ball, Kovacic on it again, just getting the tempo. They're just grinding away now. And again, Argentina can sit back. They have that luxury now of a 2-0 lead, but they're kind of inviting Croatia on a little bit more than I'd like to see them do that. I don't know, Argentina fans, tell us in the comments how you guys are feeling. But Previn's saying Argentina 3-1, it would be perfect. Bolin says Argentina will win and you will all see. Brayden says if Morocco wins in the other semi-final, see, it would has to be a World Cup for Messi. No disrespect to Morocco, but obviously then that would be a huge bonus for Argentina if they don't play France in the World Cup final. But again, not to disrespect Morocco because they've been exceptional at this World Cup and are quite capable of pulling off a shock. But, you know, as we are, 35 minutes away plus stoppage time of Argentina sealing their spot if it stays like this in a World Cup final, do you think that they're Sean there is saying Argentina is my team, but Croatia is about to shock people. It could happen, right, Andy? Is Croatia on the attack here? But once again, now Argentina win it back in that secondary press, play it long, over the top towards Julian Alvarez. He's in down the left side, one-on-one with Lovren, plays it into the on-rushing Enzo Fernandez. Somehow, though, Guardiola clears, but it's back to Messi. He's in the penalty box, wriggling away like a little worm. Here he comes on the edge of the box. Alexis McAllister. Down the left, Tagliafico. Enzo Fernandez again. And now Argentina just keeping it. Alexis McAllister, they're calming it down. Croatia have got back. But again, clear game plan from Argentina.
Yeah.
There's only going to be more of this as the final 30 or so minutes clicks down, right?
And this is just great game management right now. Like the initial chance came, it went. Now they're in secondary period of just possession and keep the ball and make Croatia work. Like just because you get into the final third doesn't mean you have to take a shot. It doesn't mean you have to have a chance right away. If you can just keep that ball down there with a 2-goal lead, that's probably something they didn't do enough of against the Netherlands, if we're honest.
Absolutely. Tony Money's got a good comment there. Messi, the best soccer player ever. Watching him playing is unique. Yeah. Great point, right? Is very few like him player-wise in history. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the great comparisons are of Diego Maradona as compatriot and the way he played. But even he was slightly different. I think just a true out-and-out playmaker, dribbler. But here he is now on the ball as we talk of the devil. Here he is, turn edge of the box. Enzo Fernandez, back to Messi. 10 yards out. Low drilled shot that Livakovic pushes away at his near post. And now it's a free kick to Croatia. But just as we were talking about and being unique, perfect example there of Messi surging forward, getting the ball, giving it, making a little triangle, and then being denied at the near post. And that is exactly the kind of chance Argentina are going to get now in the second half. But here comes Croatia again. At the heart of everything for them. Kramaric. Cross is coming in. A good block shot. And now it's coming out to the right. Modric is on the ball. Crosses in towards the penalty box. Petkovic is turning on the penalty spot. Comes back out to the edge of the box. Here's Kovacic out to the left. Whipped in another cross. Cleared again by one of Romero or Otamendi. They seem to be on the end of everything today, Andy. I think what's going on now? Substitution. Messi and Kovacic are asking for something. Not quite sure what's going on here.
That makes two of us. There's been a couple of interesting instances in this game.
Yeah, it has been for sure.
Yeah, Messi has a bit of the Barcelona look to him right now, where when he's around the penalty area, it is very much quick touch, pass move, take off on a run. And it's not just hoping to get the ball back, but it's almost demanding to have it played back to him the way that he could do when he played with Xavi, when he played with Iniesta, when he played with some of the all-time great players that he did at Barcelona. Like he has that look to him right now. He senses, I think, this moment right now that obviously a third goal puts this game away. And I think he wants that moment. And he wants to take that responsibility upon himself.
Absolutely. This game is hard to watch, Juan Perez says. So it's difficult. I think Argentina now are just setting into that more defensive mindset, which is kind of slightly hurting as a spectacle, but I think it's opening the game up. And how did Croatia beat Brazil? Wow. Obviously, they kept it a lot tighter than this. So that's their big problem today. I don't think they've had the control that they had against Brazil. But, a bit of luck as well. I think even the most ardent Croatia fan would tell you they're a little bit lucky in that game to even get the equaliser in extra time, the way it deflected. But, they're hanging in there. And they're just, again, a tournament team. They've been here, done that, got the T-shirt for sure. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting now. Argentina are digging in. Croatia are trying their best to be more direct. And yeah, get your comments coming in. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. Always love doing this. Tuning in, see where you're joining us from. I'm in England. Andy's in Kansas City. And Danny here's got a good comment. Croatia will force their way back in this game if they get a goal. Hold on to your seats because they go crazy with the attacking. Danny, you're spot on. One goal here changes it. What do we always say, Andy? 2-0 is what?
I don't know if I believe this, but it has long been said the 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in the sport of association football.
Cliche alert. And free kick alert here for Croatia, I believe. Is it Petkovic has gone down and Modric got clattered as well by Paredes, who we know after seeing his antics against the Netherlands loves a little. He leaves something on players. Okay. Lisandro Martinez is coming on, Manchester United centre-back. So it looks to me, Andy, like they're going early with the back five or back three. Paredes is coming off.
Love it.
He gets sent off. So
yeah, I don't love it.
You don't love it? You think it's a bit too early for this?
No, well, it's not that it's too early. I just don't know that a third center back on. I think it plays into Croatia's hands just a little bit, and I worry that it is going to create. It's going to create a lot of space underneath, unless I suppose Martinez, I suppose Romero could be very, very, aggressive and proactive and stepping up into midfield. It just, I don't know. Croatia gets a goal in this game, I think, because of this substitution.
Wow, bold prediction there from Andy Edwards. The cross comes in from the left, the free kick towards the penalty box. Oh, Dejan Lovren nearly. Argentina somehow clear, but Emi Martinez made a bit of a mess of that, Andy. Dejan Lovren with a free header from about 6 yards out. Just didn't seem to get enough on the ball. And then the rebound came to him. Half got something on it. And then Argentina somehow scrambled clear. But you were spot on there, right? That was very similar to the Netherlands situation. A high ball whipped in. How is Dejan Lovren that free? Maybe it is bringing on extra centre-back. I feel like when you play in a back five sometimes, there's three centre-backs. You almost...
uncertainty,
leaving it to somebody else and saying, "Oh, after you, wasn't he you?" And wasn't he your man? And there's too many people, too many chefs in the kitchen, kind of thing. It's situation. But here is Tagliafico coming down the left flank, playing it to Julian Alvarez, looking for options, switches it all the way to the right back, and this is all Argentina need to do now: just keep the ball. But it goes out of play, and Croatia have a throw-in. But we're seeing a replay now. This cross came in from Modric. Dejan Lovren was under pressure, 4 Argentine players around him, and nobody really attacked the ball. So pretty sensational that he didn't score there. The fact that Lovren is pretty good in the air. We've seen him for Liverpool, for Croatia, for other teams over the years. Usually causes chaos from those situations. But I just don't think he expected to get on the end of it. He expected one of those Argentine defenders to attack the ball, Andy, and none of them did.
Yeah, I think you were right in saying when you've got 3 center backs out there, everybody's always looking for somebody else to make the play. Because in your mind, we've got numbers. We outnumber them. We're in position. Well, that ball's kind of in the middle of us. Probably not mine. He'll get it, and then he doesn't, and nobody does. It's just the indecision that comes when you switch a system like that, and you've had for 60 minutes 2 center backs marshaling things the way that Romero and Otamendi does, and then you completely change every thought, every decision that they have inside of their head. It's got to be difficult to deal with on this stage with this pressure, of a World Cup semifinal.
We just had some stats come up on the screen, and 8 shots to Argentina, 6 to Croatia, but crucially 6 on target of those 8 for Argentina and 0 of those 6 on target for Croatia. So it just seemed to be rushing things or just panicking a little bit in the final third. when those chances do arrive. But they're arriving. So I think Croatia just got to hang in there. They can get one in the next 10, 15 minutes. We know there's going to be a lot of stoppage time. There always is at this World Cup.
Yeah, but what Argentina are doing now, and it almost happened on the possession that they just had, is when Argentina win the ball back, the wing backs are gone.
Yep.
And when the ball comes into the middle, whether it's to Messi or to its Alvarez, those runs are there. If they can get the ball and get turned, which Croatia did a good job of not letting Messi turn there, down the right side, I believe it was Molina. He was all by himself, taken off into space.
Mm-hmm.
And so if one challenge is not perfect, stepping forward into midfield.
Good opportunity here for Croatia. Kramaric wriggling away on the edge of the box. Lovely play by Perisic down the left. He was kind of playing as a left wing back now, right, in this role since Sosa went off. But again, Argentina win it back, and now it's a 2-on-2 situation. Julian Alvarez coming down the left flank. He's got Tagliafico supporting him. He's calling for it. The ball towards the back post just evades Messi, but it comes out to the right-hand side. Rodrigo de Paul has it. He's looking to clip it in towards Lionel Messi, who's up in the box trying to win the header above Dejan Lovren. But the ball now drops to Modric, and as he always does, he flicks it around two different players and then wins a free kick for Croatia. He's always on the next page, right? Or he's on the next chapter, Luka Modric. He's that good compared to most players. But yeah, this is exactly, again, the game plan we're seeing. Croatia being more direct, and then Argentina winning it back and then having a lot of space on the counter. This is how it's going to be for the final 25. So exciting times, everyone, in the comments. Okay, we've got some good comments coming in. Argentina versus France is going to be fire from Yito. I mean, France haven't got through yet. Argentina haven't got through yet. But I think most of us are just thinking about Mbappe against Messi, final, Argentina against France. Probably the two best teams in the tournament. But some other comments from Nina saying, how did Croatia beat Brazil? And talking about how poor were Brazil to not beat this Croatian side. But it can happen, right? We saw it the other day with England against France. Not to bring it up for me, and not to make myself feel better, but England played maybe better than France over the 90 minutes, but the big moments went France's way. They took their chances, and then that's football. That's the saying, right? It's in sport around, you can have off days, or you can just have days where your luck isn't in and you don't get the rub of the green. And this World Cup has just been kind of like that so far. So don't rule out any more upsets, everyone. That's for sure. Blanny saying this World Cup is for Argentina. There's a lot of love for Argentina, obviously. And just to remind everyone, with just over 20 minutes of regulation to go, if you want to watch in Spanish in the USA, you can watch on Telemundo and on Peacock. It's in the comments section there. If you go to the top of it, you can see a stream link. And if you want to watch in English in the USA, you can watch on Fox and on their platform. So we'll keep you updated here. Michael Rupp said, had Croatia the same playing style as they did in the Brazil game, I'd expect a 2-0 on the opposite end. All right. So what do you think about that, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. We have to remember, this is the international game. And so logic kind of goes out the window, right? Form kind of goes out the window. It truly is. I think there's two things that matter in the international game. One, talent above all else. And two, just how you match up against the other team. And so what we've seen from all four of the teams that are still alive in this tournament, at least for the moment, is we have seen each one of them know exactly who they are, how they want to play. They have an identity. And, it's gotten them this far. I think all four teams at this point, if you're into the semifinals, I think you would believe that you have a chance to go on and win it. Obviously, Morocco understand that they're the underdogs at this tournament, and Argentina and France are the two teams that need to be knocked off for someone else to win it. But whatever the final is going to end up being, I think it's going to be a great spectacle.
Okay, Messi's wriggling away. He's in the penalty box. He's cutting inside, looking back, and it's 3-0. Julian Alvarez slots home. Messi creating the goal, and he's just got a delighted look across his face. Andy Edwards are going to say it, 20 minutes to go. Game, set, match. Argentina are through to the World Cup final. They have no answer to Messi, Croatia. Just lovely little wriggle inside the box, got away from the defender, and then a perfectly placed pass back to Julian Alvarez, who has won a penalty, scored twice. Him and Messi have been such a handful. And seeing the replay, and Messi surging away from Guardiola and taught the young defender a lesson, right? He went one way, went the other, couldn't bring him down in the box to give away a penalty. And then Alvarez is just waiting on the edge of the 6-yard box. Please feed me. Messi does. And the GOAT is doing GOAT things, Andy Edwards.
Joe, you and I could have been born at any time in the history of the world. We got to walk the earth at the same time as Messi and watch him do these kind of things, do this at the World Cup in a semifinal. Like, thank you for being born when you were, Leo. Like, to be able to watch the progression of his career over the last 15 years has been incredible. And I think even the Messi haters probably have to look at this and say, this is pretty cool to see him showing up. And by the way, he'd never scored a goal in the knockout rounds of the World Cup before this tournament. I believe he's got 4 now, or 3 now, and a handful of assists. And so just to see a player of that caliber, an all-time great, rise to the occasion in that moment and do something that we've seen him do 100 times, like that didn't even shock either one of us. It was a nice play, but it was just Messi being Messi. This is awesome. This is really, really awesome.
It really is. To see him in his prime, and most importantly now, perhaps he has the lead on Mbappe in the Golden Boot race because he has an extra assist.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to chuck that out there. So, okay, Croatia have won a free kick 40 yards out. Petkovic wins it. It's a yellow card. The referee's not happy. Is it Otamendi, I think, with the yellow? So getting a little bit spicy. Don't think it needs to, really, for Argentina. Just calm it down because you don't want to get sent off now. And miss the World Cup final. So everybody out there, just some love for Lionel Messi. I'm sure that you guys, bye Croatia is what Braden said. Nines' goalkeeper destroyed. Abba says he is so stubborn, so determined. He just kept going. He almost walked it into their goal. WTF, which we know stands for why the face. We've all got Messi's face was obviously lit up, and all of our faces were, like you said, Andy, amazed, and also at the same time just appreciation. I think they were getting to witness this.
It's joy, and I said this the day that you and I did the Argentina Netherlands watch along. It's just there is so much joy that has been brought into people's lives watching this guy do exactly what he just did, time and time again, year after year after year. And just, I don't know. Thanks, Leo. Again, at this point, we've seen a player do absolutely everything that there is to do in the game, except for one thing. And he is now 98 minutes or 108 minutes potentially away from doing that. I know the phrase "what a time to be alive" has been overused and kind of ruined, but it really is an incredible time to be alive.
It really is. And obviously people, in the comments, they're saying it's a great way to put it, like you said, appreciating it. And Argentina's fans are appreciating it. The whole stadium is pretty much bouncing there in Qatar. The fans are going up and down. They know that they are, 15 minutes or so away from being in the World Cup final. Diego says Mbappe will finish the Messi dream. Oh, Diego, come on, man. Save that for now. Let's we got potentially, if they make it through against Morocco, we got the rest of the week to build up to that battle. But I guess we talked about it earlier. Messi is the best player in the world currently around, but Mbappe is probably in the best form. We said that. But now I don't know after watching this.
I like Messi's form.
We said that a little bit ago, but
and what Messi's doing in this game kind of goes against something that I think it was during that same game you and I had that conversation. Was Messi can do it in moments still, obviously, but for this game, he's kind of done it all game long. And so I don't know if he's not holding anything back early on in the tournament because he understands that you have to play at your best to advance in these tournaments. But there's another level that he's not gone to at this tournament that today he decided this is the day I need to do it. And he simply went out and has done it. And, I know that Alvarez has the 2 goals, but this is all Messi. This is all Messi right now. And again, the way they celebrated that goal, every single player is just, yeah, there's a lot of joy in that Argentina team right now. And we know that at major tournaments, that carries teams so incredibly far.
Good question here from Steve. The score so far, do we attribute it more to Croatia being tired or Argentina playing well? Probably
Yes.
50-50, right?
Yep.
Like a
Yep.
little, I think it's a bit of both. Like Argentina have done okay, workmanlike in the first half, and they were 2-0 up. Croatia, they're looked tired, but they were energetic, springing forward.
Yeah.
But I think where I've seen it is in the final third when a half
Yeah.
chance will fall to them. They looked a bit sluggish or not quite as sharp where it really mattered in those key areas defensively. And maybe that's to be expected, after going back-to-back penalty shootout victories. Smaller
Yeah.
squad than Argentina. And again, we said that's why Argentina and France were favored in these two semifinals because they have the stronger squads. And Croatia and Morocco, no disrespect to the players that aren't playing, but there's a big drop-off between their starting 11 and the guys they're asking to come
Yes.
into a World Cup semi-final and do something. So
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in, to be the less talented team and the more fatigued team in a game. And that's the reality of the situation that Croatia were in coming into this game. Now they are close enough in talent that the effort and the energy and a bounce or two can make all the difference in the world. And that's part of how they're here right now. That's how they got past Brazil. But it's this Argentina team, and I think I said it before the tournament, it feels like there's some bit of destiny about them. And whether it's Messi,
yeah,
whether it's the team all coming together at the right moment, it just feels like there is something special about this group.
they're going for more as well. They're surging down the
Yep.
left Tagliafico to Alexis McAllister. Obviously made a few subs with the final in mind now. But just, just going through the gears now, Argentina. Obviously, Dybala's on, Palacios is on. And that's good news as well. Dybala, to have him coming off the bench, it's not bad, right? After
Yeah.
his injury issues and all the rest of it. So, yeah, like we said there, stronger depth for sure. Orlando, as an Argentinian, I feel like Messi deserves this World Cup, but I think France will shut them down. I don't know. France give up a lot of chances.
Yeah.
They haven't kept a clean
Yeah.
sheet yet. And England should have beaten them, or at least taken it to extra time. A lot of mistakes in that. Sorry, I'm never going to get away from that.
And I think you're right, by the way. You're not wrong.
True, but yeah, I think France probably the best chance they would have going against Argentina if they do get through against Morocco is to go toe to toe with them and go
Yep.
get Griezmann, Giroud, Mbappe, Dembele on the ball as much as possible. First last says Messi is overrated. Surely that's trolling. Michelle Hernandez says I want Argentina to win. Prosper says Messi deserves this cup. KRK says Mbappe is that dude under pressure. Messi will be tested. 2-0 to France. Book it. All right, mate. I don't know. Put your money where your mouth is, I guess. I hope you have a bet on that and you're delighted if that does happen. Jeffrey says, who is a better dribbler, Messi or Ronaldo? Messi.
Yeah.
Obviously. But Ronaldo in his prime was a dribbler, but direct, right? Power.
Yeah.
And just the directness, it was tough to stop him. But
the way Messi has the ball on a string in traffic with 2 and 3 and 4 defenders, and he'll go this way to beat one, circle back, beat him again, beat the next one here, and just then he disappears, and the defenders are looking at each other. Where'd he go? That pretty much separates it for me.
Oh, absolutely. And a Messi's year, that's what Tremont says, and I think that's pretty accurate as of right now. So. Yeah, we're seeing the Croatia fans aren't very happy with Emi Martinez. Shock as he's delaying taking a goal kick, even though they're 3-0 up and there's no real danger of Argentina losing this game. But Modric there, still working away feverishly in midfield. Lovren's been pinned back, and this is the beauty now for Argentina. They're just picking their moments to press, but they are pressing high when Croatia have got the ball. And they've got some extra energy now on the pitch with Dybala and others out there. But Modric is on it. Looking up, trying to go direct. Finds Vlasic to Lovren to Modric. Modric now looking for a long ball forward, but the beauty of it is now with Argentina got that back five, they look a lot more less vulnerable, shall we say, when Croatia are trying to build up through the middle. So Croatia are coming forward though. Getting in. Petkovic again has it. Back to Modric, 40 yards out. Is he going to have a shot? No, he tries to clip it wide. Argentina deflect it, and the ball dribbles back to Emi Martinez. And Modric there, just a glance and a look. And the ball comes back and hits him in the face. And talk about when your luck is out, 3-0 down in a World Cup semi-final, and you smash a ball, it hits the Argentine player, comes back and smashes you right on the nose. And Modric right now looks a little bit like Rudolph the reindeer. Let's put it that way. But you can't blame him. He's been, again, Croatia's best player, as he usually is in pretty much every game he plays for club or country. Okay, Argentina pressing high. Croatia winning it back on the left. Perisic clipping it. I think Croatia have almost given the game up a little bit here, Andy. They know one goal changes it, obviously, a little bit, but I think they're a little bit resigned to their fate, and they do look like the comments said earlier. They do look a bit shattered now, and that everything is caught up.
It was always going to hit them in this game, and it was going to be a matter of did they have a goal yet or not? And if they don't, then the uphill battle becomes almost impossible.
Okay, a moment here. Luka Modric is coming off after getting hit in the face. He's been subbed off, 10 minutes to go. I think it was for him to get a standing ovation, and he is getting applauded by the entire stadium, but he's got a little bit of a smile on his face. But that is probably the last time we see Luka Modric in a World Cup game. And all of his players, every single one of the Croatian bench is giving him a high five. They all stood up. Croatian fans are applauding him. They cut to the crowd, and there's his family there who are watching on. And Luka Modric, what a man. He's lucky enough to speak to him after a Champions League final win against Liverpool for Real Madrid in Paris over the summer. And just a classy guy. Stopped for pretty much every journalist in the mix zone, even though he's been there, done that, won 5 Champions League titles, had time for everyone. His kids were alongside him, having the time of their life. And just so relaxed and such a diminutive figure, but he's seems to dominate every game with his energy, his class on the ball. And if that is to be his last World Cup performance, obviously not the way he would have wanted. I guess there is the 3rd place game right now, so that will probably be his last. But you'd imagine he would play in that. So, but again, I think a moment there for him to get some appreciation on the big stage, World Cup semi-final, as Lovren plays it back. Livakovic lumps it into the air, but Argentina win it about 40 yards out. And they win a free kick about 40 yards out for a late tackle there. And Andy, this kind of went as we expected. Oh, short free kick. Oh, Alexis McAllister volleys just wide after a lovely little flicked pass from Dybala. Short free kick. Dybala tried one flick, didn't work. Then he dinked it over. And maybe I'm being harsh because we've seen him do this for Brighton so often over the last couple of seasons, but probably should have done that, right? He was off balance.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of a thought here. These last 10 minutes of the game, Argentina, I don't think they're playing for Croatia. I think they're playing for France right now. I think this is almost setting down hey, look what's waiting for you in the final. As much as it's going to be a matchup on the day, like the mental matchup has already kind of begun. And France obviously can't look past Morocco in the second semifinal tomorrow. But Argentina can now. They can almost kind of set the tone of how the conversation is going to go leading up to the game, and how the teams are going to prepare and what the mentality is going to be. And this is so confident right now.
Yeah, they're coming forward again. Dybala trying to wriggle through. And okay, what about this question? Is it an advantage for them that they have a day's extra rest?
Oh yeah,
it should be, right? Especially in such a condensed World Cup where it's even tighter together than usual.
Rest and preparation as well.
Yeah. Okay, good question here. What's the biggest weakness France can exploit to possibly beat Argentina? Again, France aren't in the final yet. They got to get past Morocco. Upsets. I can safely say that Argentina are going to be in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
But Andy, I guess the Argentine weakness, we saw it a little bit. They were wobbling at the start of the second half when you go direct. And I think if Giroud's up there against Otamendi and Romero, he's the perfect player to feed the ball into his feet. You got Griezmann, Dembele, Mbappe moving off him. They have to stop the ball probably getting into Giroud, right? That's where you have to stop it. But that's a weakness there that I think France can make the most of when it comes to playing Argentina, if they do play Argentina in the final.
Yeah, we got to keep saying that. I think people know what we mean, though, when we talk about France. I think they understand. Yeah, big center backs for France. They'll struggle with the dribbling ability of obviously Messi and some of the other really, really technical players for Argentina. But on the other side, the smaller, kind of less aggressive, I guess you would say, center backs for Argentina. That aerial threat and presence of
Oh,
Giroud is going to be.
sorry to cut you off, Andy. Nearly a
Oh,
goal at the back post for Croatia. Flicked header, I think, from Perisic
yeah.
at the near post. Lovren come flying in at the back stick. And I don't know how he missed that. He went with his foot when he should have gone with his head, I think, at the back post. So a corner whipped in, Perisic flips it on. And there's two Croatia players that are lining up to knock it in. And Lovren just couldn't get on the end of it. And that kind of sums up their night, doesn't it?
Yep.
That looked like a really easy opportunity for Croatia to get one back, and then there would have been 5 minutes plus stoppage time, and then who knows, given what we've seen in this tournament. But Argentina making a couple of subs now, just trying to waste a bit of time. We got some other comments here. Give the cup to Messi. Mbappe already got his and will have more chances, unlike Messi. Probably fair enough. I don't think Mbappe would agree with you, but I think most people would say that's pretty straight on. That's pretty fair enough. Molina's coming off. Alexis McAllister has been excellent again. Has come off. And who do we have coming on here for Argentina? We have Correa and we have Juan Foyth as well. The former Tottenham Hotspur defender.
Juan Foyth.
Yeah, here he is. And what a career he's had since going to Villarreal. Excellent few years for him, winning trophies and Champions League and everything. GP says, "Are you Prince Harry's cousin?" No, my last name is Prince-Wright, but that is just, that is it. Not a royal title, but just the last name. So not part of the British royal family, but do live here in the UK. Argentina does not have a solid defense, kind of what we were talking there about potential weaknesses for France or Morocco to explore.
I think it's the other same for France as well. Again, if France get there to the final, I think these teams, they play very differently, but I think they're kind of, their strengths and their weaknesses lie in a lot of the different areas. And so somebody asked earlier, I think, how do you stop one of these teams? I think that's the wrong question to ask. I think the question is who's going to be able to outscore the other one, because the experience and the names of those players, I might be wrong and I might regret this, but I don't think it'll be a cagey game if it is France and Argentina in the final. I think both teams understand our best way of winning is to go for it.
I think it'll be similar to England-France, right? It'll be open. It'll be, it'll be kind of, one team will have one half, one team will have the other. It will be very much in stages and phases about hanging on when you're up against it and being resilient, and then taking the chances, because you will get chances. Like you said, I think both defensively, cliche alert, but the best form of defense is attack for both of these teams, right? That is clearly the case when it comes to these two teams. I'm surprised that Croatia got this far. That's what Amar says. Yeah, I think, let's say hats off to Croatia for once again exceeding expectations. Runners up last time in 2018. Gonna go out here in the semi-finals, but could end up finishing third. And once again, this the mind-boggling stat. This is the 6th World Cup in their history. They've reached the semi-finals at least on 3 occasions. So 50% of the time, they are Final Four team in the World Cup, which is pretty incredible for a country of their size, their resources. But obviously, whatever they're doing in Croatia to produce players, it is working, and continually so. Andy,
just under 4 million people, by the way.
It was incredible, right? What's that like? I'm trying to think of a city equivalent in the US, but
some smaller US states for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so it's that time to give out our MVP award for the game so far. Which players have stood out? Which players have impressed us? As Croatia have a decent shot, but it's deflected and Martinez saves. Who are we going with? Does it have to be Messi for his amazing assist? Or are we going with Alvarez for his 2 goals and winning the penalty kick? Those are the 2 obvious candidates.
Yeah. You asking seriously?
It's obviously Messi. I was just trying to give some kind of other option out there, but
Yeah. Well, look, the pressure that exists on this guy at all times, every time he takes the field, at a World Cup, in a semifinal, if he doesn't deliver, he's a choker. He's a fraud. Like that's the way the world works these days. And he has been none of those things today, through the knockout rounds, through most of the group stage. He has been at, in his final World Cup, probably. I don't know, maybe. He's been the best he's ever been at a World Cup, and he has shown up today in a way, in exactly the way Argentina needed him to be. They didn't need him to go out there and score an incredible solo goal. It was very much he needed to fit into the way that the team was going to play, and he
100%.
needed to be the creator and provider. And I think coming into the tournament, that's kind of what we anticipated from him. And he has been all of that and more in this game, especially.
By the way, he's on the ball now. He's still out there. He's still taking people on, surging past people, going towards the penalties box, but Croatia clear. So he's still out there, I think, because he wants to wrap up that golden boot if he can and score a few more. He sees that.
He's having dreams after the final. Got a World Cup trophy, got a golden ball, got a golden boot, and he's just dropping them on the ground because he can't hold all of them at once.
The ultimate mic drop. And I want to see him play in the next World Cup. I want to see him play forever, but I don't even know there's a conversation that he might just be like, you know what? I'm kind of done. I've done everything now. I've won everything everywhere. It's not going to happen. He's going to go somewhere else and play after this next season of PSG, obviously. But,
still need him in MLS, Joe. I need Messi to play a game in Kansas City before it's all done. I mean, just think about that. I've lived in Kansas City, the middle of the United States, on the other side of the world from this guy, whole life. Watched him the whole time he's been a player, and then he comes here to play. Like, that is why. And I understand why people say it's bad to be a retirement league or whatever. But when you have the Beckham, when you have the Thierry Henry, when you have the Zlatan, when you have the Messi, players of that caliber, Gareth Bale this year as well. Got a chance to see Gareth Bale play in Kansas City for LAFC. That's just it grows the game in ways that I think a lot of people that are in the sport already are annoyed by, but it does grow the game. And I think that's important to remember.
Definitely. And I'm smiling here because Messi's smiling. The whole stadium, all the Argentine fans are on their feet. They're chanting. They pan to the bench. The players are all chanting with them and dancing at the same time. So we are 3.5 minutes away from full time here. Croatia got the ball. Argentina sat in a back five. They're not really adventurous right now. But, it's pretty incredible. Saved by Grace says, what cheat codes does Messi use? Please share. Yeah, I think
all of them.
Yeah, all of them at the same time. Efren Aguilera says, what are the chances Morocco wins against France? I think they can do it for sure.
Injuries and suspensions are going to really, because they're down 3 of the 4 along the back line against that France attack.
Good luck. Good luck. But, they've done crazy things at this tournament. But as we see, another pan towards the the Argentina fans, and they're going crazy. I'm sure there's probably a few Morocco fans in there. They've been everywhere at this tournament. But yeah, it's going to be. These are emotional moments, Hosts, who do we have in the finals? Argentina, obviously, and then France, right, Andy? I think they got just a bit too much for Morocco firepower wise. And who are we saying the favourites now? Because I think we probably said the other day we did our rankings on Pro Soccer Talk and NBC Sports.com. We said France are the favourites, but they're going to flip-flop and change our mind and say after seeing this, Argentina with Messi in this kind of form, they're the favourites, I think.
We hadn't seen the A+ performance from, and this is probably just an A, right? The A or A+ performance from Argentina. We didn't know if they were capable of it. They are very capable of it. I'm more interested in public opinion, because anytime there's like a big final or a big game, there's the face and the heel, the good guy and the bad guy, and everybody kind of knows what it is. If it's France Argentina, I don't know that there's a heel in that. I don't know that there is someone that you can villainize and say, don't want them to win. Mbappe starts his career with back-to-back World Cups. Incredible story. Could go on to be the greatest player of all time. He's that good at this age. Messi ends his career with a World Cup. There almost is no bad outcome.
That's true. I suppose if you're French or Argentinian, then you're obviously the only people on the planet who have a different kind of view. But I think for neutrals everywhere, you're right. There's only one winner, and that's going to be us, because if it is a France against Argentina final. But again, France got some work to do against Morocco in the semi-final. It's not going to be easy. As the final minutes playing out here, Croatia fair play to them, still knocking it around, but Argentina just won it back again. Just kind of toying with them now on the counter. And they're just trying to run the clock down. Juan Foyth is marauding forward from right wing back now. Is he going to go? He's going to go for goal, I think, trying to clip it in. They're telling him to keep it in the corner, but come on, you're 3-0 up. Go for another one. It's fine.
What other opportunity is Juan Foyth going to have to do that in a World Cup semifinal? Credit to him. He did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, he did. He did. But Croatia coming forward again. One last flurry for them. Can they get a goal on the board? Petkovic out wide, cutting in on his right foot. Finds it on the edge of the box. Nobody else up there for Croatia. Comes back. Dejan Lovren. Oh, with a screamer from 30 yards, the centre-back, and flies just over. So, don't think anyone had that on their bingo card for this game. But Andy Edwards, that is it. Full time. Argentina 3, Croatia 0. The camera pans to Lionel Messi. He's smiling, almost chuckling to himself. And the camera then pans to Luka Modric, who's got his head down. But not too disappointed by the looks of it. He's just kind of like, you know what? It's just that. But huge celebrations among the Argentine players. Di Maria and Modric having a good hug and a lovely moment there on the sidelines. Yeah. And Argentina didn't even need to use Di Maria today, resting for the final to come on and play a key role, I'm sure. But Argentina, just that was their best performance of the tournament. Again, Croatia looked tired, but I think that was really, really good from Argentina. And of course, that is their second appearance now in a World Cup final in the last 3. And, they're looking really good, Andy, at this tournament. Final thoughts on Argentina for you?
Yeah, like you said, best performance at the tournament so far. They'll need to replicate it, though, again in the final if it is going to be France, because France will not be France will have a day less of rest and preparation and everything, but I don't think that fatigue will affect them quite as much as it did against Croatia today. I also think, and I don't think Didier Deschamps is going to be cocky or overconfident going into it, but I would also be a little surprised if there's not maybe a change or two to the team with that point in mind, knowing the injuries and suspensions for Morocco and how they're going to be weakened. So fingers crossed, Argentina, France in the final would just be an absolute dream.
Absolutely. And we're seeing the players, a lot of respect between the Croatia players and Argentine players. And Messi is getting hugs from every single Argentine player. Obviously, they know how key it is to their hopes of winning the World Cup. And they're now just one win away, Argentina, from winning the World Cup. Once again, obviously, Lionel Messi, this is his ambition for his entire career. Argentina have won the World Cup twice in their history, but they haven't won it in a very long time, since 1986, when Diego Armando Maradona was the main man. Now Lionel Messi's the main man in what could be his last ever World Cup. It looks like it's going to be, Andy, and just incredible scenes on the pitch as he's hugged by every single Argentine player.
And they all just absolutely cannot get enough of loving on that guy. It is so cool to see the human side of that come out. Like, as soon as the whistle blows to start the game, you know, players lock in and become robots almost. And then as soon as it ends, you see that turn off and they turn back into humans and they get to express it like that. Like, that's why we love this game so much. Like, we get, for 90 minutes, we enjoy it as humans and we get, captivated and lost in it. They can't do that. They have a job to do. They have to be fully focused. And then to see them enjoy it, like Messi smiling and celebrating right now, like a little kid, it's just, I don't know. The World Cup is the best.
Yeah, and to paint the picture here, the entire Argentine team is lined up, jumping up and down, and there's a wall of Argentine, wall of blue and white shirts behind the goal. They're all singing and dancing together. They've reached the World Cup final where they'll face either France or Morocco this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time kickoff. We'll have another watch along for that, so join us for that. Thanks so much, everyone around the world, wherever you've joined us from, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to witness the magician Messi at his very best, hasn't it, once again, Andy? So we've loved all your comments. We've loved answering all of your questions you've had coming in. So thanks so much for joining us for this commentary with analysis on a 3-0 win for Argentina against Croatia. Again, they're in the World Cup final. Croatia goes on to the third place match where they'll play the loser of France against Morocco. But again, thank you all so much. Really enjoyed that today. Thank you, Andy, for your time. As always, pleasure, mate. And Argentina will be going absolutely crazy right now. Buenos Aires, all over that country. And Messi fans all over the world will be absolutely delighted. The little magician is, like I said, one win away in a World Cup final, away from getting the trophy. That, I think we all can agree, no matter who you support, he would deserve. So amazing scenes, Andy. Amazing time on this watch along. Thanks again, everyone. And we'll speak to you all very soon indeed. Cheers, guys.